Okay, everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. What a day we are going to have, and I mean that. We're going to hear from World Control today. World Control. Absolutely, that is the Federal Reserve, the hub for this new thing that is quickly emerging and is, in fact, taking over the entire world. So Wednesday, July 27, 2022. 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is when we get to be, advised on what the freak show Federal Reserve, aka World Control, is going to do with regard to the federal funds rate. I'm going to give you a big clue here. It's going higher, and it's not going to change a damn thing with regard to the trajectory of inflation in any way. As a matter of fact, all it's going to do is foster more inflation, and you know this better than anybody else. You can't just nudge the federal funds rate incrementally here in an environment where, by their own numbers, inflation continues to rage out of control. It makes no sense at all, and unless, of course, you realize what's really going on. And you know what that is if you follow this blog. They're not going to stop inflating. And you know what? I tell you what drives me crazy. I'm sitting here this morning watching Bloomberg. And of course they parade out some freaky looking thing. I think it was a woman. I don't know what it was. Talking about how seriously, how she believes, the central banks, they really want to rein in inflation here. But no one talks about how the European Central Bank is buying an unlimited amount of bonds, and how the Federal Reserve is following suit, and you can see it with your own eyes just by looking at the yield curve. I mean, give me a break here. But again, it's the deceptions, the distractions, the look here, the don't look here. Anyway, so on the back of today being Fed Day, World Control Day, we have stock futures higher across the board right now. Nothing major, but higher nonetheless. A 10-year yield 2.78. A dollar that is slightly weaker this morning. Gold under a little bit of pressure. Silver catching a bid. Bitcoin around 21,000 and still holding. Like I said, I want to see it hold 21,000 for about 3 weeks. If it holds, I'm going to buy some more, and I will let you know exactly when I do that. If you do subscribe to my newsletter, I will blast it out to everyone. Link in the description of this video. Crude oil this morning is, in fact, catching a bid. Imagine my surprise. Now, I want to read some economic news to you, and I want to tell you something else as well. So apparently, we got a really good durable goods order number today. Better than expected. Durable goods, this number came in better than expected. But what they're not telling you is, in a normal environment, this number would be considered abysmal. But what's going to happen here, and you're going to see it all day long, mark my words, CNBC, Bloomberg, Fox Business, they're all going to tell you how great this number is. No. Again, if we were in a normal environment, well, people would be screaming, what's going on? What's happening? Ah! But no, not here. Again, it's part of this mechanism. We also found out that mortgage demand continues to fall, despite the fact that it continues to crater week after week after week as home affordability. I mean, this isn't just Greg Mannarino. This is what they're telling us, although I guess you know how it works. They tell you one thing one day, but the next day it's not true, and then they tell you something else, but then that's not true either. But we just found out that, I mean, mortgage demand, is falling because home affordability is at a historic low, and rents continue to skyrocket. That's the environment we are living in, people. And no one's doing a damn thing about it. And that's what drives me nuts. It really does. There's nobody in the streets. Everyone's stuck in their little boxes that they've been put in by the current thing that's going around. And I mean this new emergence of a new system. And we're just in the early parts of it right now. You know that. Anyway, I don't believe that you are surprised about what's happening here at all. It's interesting. I look at some of my old videos from like years ago, things I was saying back then and how this was going to play out, and I scare myself. I go, wow, this is everything that I said would happen. It's happening right now. And I can say this because, again, and I would ask you to go look at my old videos from several years back. We haven't seen anything yet. And I've been telling you this for I don't know how long, and it continues to deteriorate. And it's going to continue to do so by design. None of this is by accident, you know that. The action of central banks right now is deliberate. It's an attack on a particular class of people, the middle class, who have a target tattooed on their face. That's a term I have been using for I don't know how many years now. I've been explaining that the middle class is going extinct. They will continue to go extinct. And this mechanism here, this wealth transfer effect, that is central banks creating an environment of risk, pushing cash into the stock market, somewhere where it has no business going right now. This is quantitative easing. That's what it's designed to do. When you have central banks buying all the debt, it pushes cash into the stock market. It also keeps a real estate bubble inflated. So there's a few facets to this and that we need to keep our eyes on. Yes, the economic news, it's abysmal. It doesn't stop. It won't stop. Oh, they're going to tell you how great it is. But the fact of the matter is, it couldn't possibly be worse. Globally, I mean, this is the scenario here. Okay, with that said, you're going to see cash continue to be pushed into places where it shouldn't be going. That is the stock market, until the debt market melts down. And right now, there's an incredible amount of effort by central banks to keep the yield curve under some kind of control, to keep rates suppressed. Whatever comes out of their mouth is a lie. You have to understand that, and I think you do. When a Federal Reserve president or two or three, whoever they may be, try to tell you something, realize that they're going out of their way to tell you a tale that is just not true. Along with our politicians, all of them, they're all freaks. They're all multimillionaires for the most part, and they have they can't relate to the average guy or the average girl who can't get by right now. We all know, what did they tell us just last week? 75% of middle income earners here in the United States cannot make ends meet. The savings rate is negative. People continue to borrow and borrow and borrow and borrow some more. And this is a phenomenon, again, that I know both of you and I have expected. Members of the middle class trying to, maintain that lifestyle. That middle class lifestyle. They don't want to go down to the low rung of society, but they're being pushed there deliberately harder and harder and harder. That's a boot on their throat that's going to cut off their air supply, and I think you all know that. Anyway, so look, in summary here, just going over the economic news, I don't care how they're trying to spin this or twist this better than expected durable goods order number. It's terrible in the grand scheme of things. If this were a normal economy, people would be going, what is going on? But it's the job of the propaganda ministry to twist your mind in every which way direction other than the right one here. You must be lied to. You must be distracted, deceived, and propagandized, period, the end. And they're going to continue. What have I been saying for I don't know how many years? How many years? Some of you have been with me for a really long time. Have I explained? They're going to try to tell you that what you're seeing with your own eyes is not real. And that's the current environment where we are at. So anyway, this is Fed Day. We're going to hear from World Control later today. And my best guess is here, a 75 basis point hike. And that's not, what we got to watch is how the market is going to react, not to the announcement that the Fed is going to be raising rates because it's priced in already. It's what comes out of the mouth of Yellowstain. I'm talking about Fed Chair Powell himself. I call him Yellowstain for those of you that maybe are new here. But it's way worse than that. It's a nickname, but I don't use this in a nice way. Does Yellowstain sound good to you? I don't think so. The man is a curse upon the earth along with the Federal Reserve. And they're determined to destroy everyone, to fulfill their agenda, to fulfill their end game, which is a final solution. That should sound familiar to you. Look it up. Final solution. The final solution is to vastly, vastly reduce the global population to exert more control. And I think you're well aware of that. All right, with that said, people, this guy loves you a lot. Please comment here. Let me know what you think. Share the video. And I'll see all of you at the end of the day. And we're going to go over all of it, all this stuff. All right, so I'm looking forward to it.